Have you ever felt trapped by who you think you have to be instead of who you're meant to be? It's not your fault. It's the invisible forces shaping your life. Let's break free from those limiting beliefs and unlock the man you truly are. We're going live. We'll do it live. Okay.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, guys. We are running a little behind this morning. I have not one, but two geriatric dogs that I'm dealing with. My parents are in the land of Cappy, and they left their little dog with me, and she's a little turd. So anyway, look, let me ask you some questions here, okay? Are you tired of feeling stuck in a version of yourself that doesn't reflect the man you know you could be? What if I told you that your life is being controlled by invisible forces you didn't even know existed? Those forces are your paradigms. Deeply ingrained beliefs and thought patterns that shape everything you do, from how you see yourself to how you handle challenges. These paradigms could either be holding you back or propelling you forward. And the good news, you have the power to change them. Imagine living life on your own terms, where your self-identity is no longer dictated by outdated beliefs or societal pressures, but your authentic self, one that is resilient, confident, and fully in control. What would it feel like to finally break free from the limitations holding you back? In this video, we're going to dive deep into how you can identify and shift the paradigms controlling your life, helping you to unlock your true masculine presence. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll have the tools to start transforming your life. But before we get into that, do be sure to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is Woo Woo Wednesday. So on Mondays, we have Mating Mondays, and Wednesdays, we have Woo Woo Wednesdays, and Friday, we have Frame Fridays. Today is Woo Woo Wednesday. Although we're not going to go off into the woo woo. When you really think about it, the woo woo that I like to talk about really is reprogramming your subconscious mind. It's a form of inner work, right? Working on yourself, because you're not going to fix your outside problems until you do the work inside, right? Guys, do sound off in the live chat if you're watching live right now. If you're watching on the replay, do drop a comment below. All that kind of helps boost us in the algorithm. Plus, I just like interacting with you guys. And don't be stingy with those super chats. I know you guys got the money. I show this every day, right? Every episode. Y'all have the $500 super chats you're sending to chicks with sticks of butter, okay? She's not giving you actionable information. She's just looking hot, okay? I realize I am not as hot as her, okay? But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And then, guys, we did hit our goal. We hit 20 members last month. I'm going for 40 members this month. The link's in the description. You can also hit the join button below this video if you're watching on YouTube right now. But if you become a member, it's only $2.99 a month. That's like 10 cents a day. It's less than a gallon of gas in most places these days. But you get access to all archived episodes, 4 years worth of actionable information. You guys get access to the Tuesday live call-in streams. We had one last night. It was fun. And you guys get a free audiobook version of the Book of Pook, which you can't find on Audible. All of that just for being a member. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get to the topic at hand today. Every single hour, men struggle in silence. Men who are facing rejection, confusion, and the pain of feeling lost in relationships. Thousands of men have found the support they needed, but for many others, help comes too late. Hi, I'm Paul Bauer. Will you be a supporter for men in need? Every day, men like you face challenges of dating, holding frame, and breaking free from nice guy syndrome. But you don't have to face these struggles alone. For just $2.99 a month, that's only 10 cents a day, you can join my YouTube membership or become a Spotify subscriber, and you can help keep this podcast alive. Your support ensures that I can continue to create content that helps men just like you. I can continue to help men overcome these challenges. By joining now, you're not just getting access to all older archived episodes. You're helping me keep this mission going. Together, we can reach more men who need help, guidance, and support. Right now, there's a man who needs you, and your membership says, I'm here to help. Please join today. Your support is making a difference. It is making a difference. We do have a whole bunch of YouTube members in the chat today, and most of them are Beer Club brothers. Also, we also have a new member. Riley became a YouTube member. I'm gonna give him today's Woo Woo Wednesday. I'm gonna give him this magic. Yes, magic. And what did John say? Woo Woo Wednesday on masculinity. This should be interesting. Well, so I'm glad you brought that up. So what I'm doing for the next several weeks on Woo Woo Wednesday is I'm going chapter by chapter through my new book, The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence Psychology Paradigm. And the reason why I'm doing that and why it ties in with Woo Woo Wednesday is because when I started studying the law of attraction, right? Like most people, you get sort of lost in the mysticism of it, and you get lost in the magical thinking of it. But when you really study it, what you find is that it's really just a set of tools to reprogram your paradigm, right? Paul, what's your paradigm? I'm glad you asked, internet man. But your paradigm is nothing more than a series of habits and past experiences that you've recorded in your subconscious mind that now shapes habits going forward. And 95% of what we do is habit-based. And so basically it's just a set of programs that run subconsciously and you don't even realize you're doing it. It's like one of your paradigms is brushing your teeth in the morning. You don't think about it. You just get up, you put some toothpaste on, you do it the same every morning and you brush your teeth in the same direction. You don't think about it. It's just something you do, right? It's like when you're first learning how to drive your car, you have to think about it. You have to think, okay, it's what are the RPMs? What's the engine sound like? Okay, it's time to shift now. I gotta put the clutch in. I've got to slowly let off the clutch and push on the gas when I'm doing this, right? You're thinking about all of these things, but once you do it enough, you just do it. It becomes muscle memory. Well, that's because it's become a paradigm. It's just a set of programs that you run and you don't even have to think about it. That's why most people could get in their car, drive, get to their destination and have no idea how they got there. They're like, how the hell did I get here? More importantly, how did I get here safely? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We are up to chapter 3 in the essential skills of a masculine presence. And so what we're doing, because I do want you to read the book, is I'm just doing the top 10 concepts from each chapter. I'm not reading the chapter to you because I do want you to get the book. You can get the book right now in paperback. I'm dropping a link here in the chat. You can get it on paperback, hardcover, or Kindle edition. So if you're a Kindle Unlimited member, you can read the book for free right now. Okay, so I dropped a link to that in the chat. The audio version is recorded and it's just waiting on approval from Audible, and that takes usually 10 business days. So the first concept, because I can't vamp too much, MLD says I have to get to the actionable information. The first concept is paradigms and shaping self-identity, right? So paradigms are deeply ingrained patterns of thought that influence how we see ourselves. So it's not just controlling our actions. It also controls how we see ourselves. We have a guy in Beer Club. In fact, we just talked about him last week on Friday, the podcast, where we talked about the creepy versus attractive behavior, right? Well, this gentleman in Beard Club, he is realizing that, all the women in his area are, as he says, violently disgusted by him. But he also is realizing that it's not just women. They are, there's dudes that are just creeped out by this guy, right? Like, and so he's starting to realize there's a pattern here. Well, the thing is that he now has this self-image that he's creepy. So guess what? That's probably impacting how he's acting, how he's portraying himself to the world, how he comes across, because that's how he sees himself. He sees himself as creepy, so he acts creepy. You understand? And the thing is, like, our paradigms, they act like the same way that your operating system works on your computer, right? You have your operating system is your subconscious mind, and then you have a series of programs that run. And a lot of the programs, you probably didn't even realize this if you're not a computer nerd, but a lot of applications that you have running on your computer are running in the background. You don't even realize it's going. If you go down to the lower right of your computer, you have what's called the system tray. You can see all the little programs that are running in the background that are just dormant. They're just sitting there. You don't see them on your screen, so they're sort of out of sight, out of mind, but they're running. They're doing something, right? Like I have a backup program that constantly runs. Anytime I make new changes, it grabs all the changes and backs it up to the cloud. I have a program that runs that keeps my screen from going to screensaver when I don't want it to. Well, your paradigms do the same thing. They're just running in the background. You don't even realize they're doing it. And a lot of our reactions to life, a lot of things that happen in life are knee-jerk responses to that is because of ingrained paradigms, right? And the thing is about our paradigms is they can be good or they can be bad. We have paradigms that empower us, that cause us to do things in the right way. A good example of this is my good friend Aaron Clary. I love bringing him up because when he reviewed my first book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, which is this book here, although this has a new cover, by the way. This is the old cover. If you go to Amazon and look up Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, it's got a cool new cover now. Well, Clary reviewed my book, and the first chapter in the book is on the law of attraction. And basically, it's a very, very condensed version of really what I wanted to explain in this book. And it's all about how our subconscious causes us to act in a certain way, and those actions cause reactions. Those reactions cause our results in life. It's not magic. It's not really woo-woo. It's psychology, right? Well, some of those actions, so Clary says, it's not subconscious Clary that gets all the work done around my house. It's conscious Clary that's doing it. Well, the thing is that conscious Clary doesn't realize that subconscious Clary has a paradigm of a hard work ethic, right? He has a paradigm that he has to get the work done. He's a hard worker. So he consciously goes around and does hard work. He does a good job. Maggie May, you're going to ruin the show, you little turd. Don't do it. Anyway, so that's the thing. Clary's paradigm of being a hard worker propels him forward. It's a good paradigm. A couple of geriatrics. Really? You got to shake now? This one's shaking with her collar. This one's trying to get out. Y'all are going to ruin the show. Be the death of me, I swear to God. Anyway, so you guys get the point. It directly impacts our self-concept and potential. So you also have paradigms that hold you back, right? A paradigm of, like women think I'm a creep will keep you from having good experiences with women, because you're going to go into an interaction automatically assuming that a chick finds you creepy. And so you're going to probably act in a creepy way. And then that's going to cause a reaction from her. It's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. The next concept here is self-identity as a multi-layered construct. So here's the thing about your self-identity, right? It's formed through beliefs, experiences, and internal narratives. Okay. Internal narratives, experiences, and beliefs, they all come together and form your self-identity. Okay. They all work together, shape how we perceive ourselves in the world around us. Okay. So, what are your beliefs, right? They're core ideas that we hold about ourselves, such as whether we think we're capable or not. All right. I talk a lot in the book about money paradigms. And a lot of people, they think that the rich one, 1% of the population, that they're there because they're of luck, or because of, they're greedy, or because they come from wealthy families or whatever. Like, that's a majority of the population thinks that about the top 1%. But that's not true, right? A lot of the times that's not true at all. They have a different paradigm. The people that gather that much wealth, they have a wealth paradigm that's like accumulation of wealth is easy, and they know how to do it. Whereas people, they have this core belief that they can never be rich, that's reserved for a select few. And so that keeps them poor. It keeps them working 9-to-5 jobs. It keeps them working, not being able to like assume their full potential. Because if you give them an opportunity and say, okay, hey, this job here, you could do it, right? All you need to do is go take a few Udemy courses at $50 a pop. Okay. And then go and start practicing and start developing like sort of a portfolio of your own work that you're working on, maybe even as a hobby. You can start it as a hobby. Okay. And then you go out and get a coding job. You could make twice as much as you're making right now, maybe even 3 times as much as you're making right now. Most people will be like, no, I can't do that. No, that's not for me. Right. And so they won't do that. They won't try. They won't even buy the Udemy course. And they'll convince themselves that they can't afford the Udemy course, right? It's $50. You can't afford $50 to improve your situation. Are you dying over here? What the fuck is going on? Anyway, yes, all the geriatric doggos this morning, all of them. So my dog Sadie here, she has this new thing where she basically sounds like she's hawking up a hairball, and she does that periodically. She just did that. And then Maggie's over here by the door whining because she wants out. This is awesome. This is awesome, guys. This is actually my nightmare. I was like, how's the live stream going to go on Wednesday? Well, this is how it's going. It's fucking awesome. The thing is, if I let Maggie May out the door, right, she's going to leave, and then I'm going to shut the door, and then she's going to claw to get back in. So it's like, Jesus Christ. I gotta try to ignore her. So anyway, I hope that helps you understand beliefs and core ideas. Also, we have experiences, right? So events from our past that influence how we behave or react in similar situations. A lot of guys find their way to the red pill space because of negative interactions with women, right? That's how a lot of guys end up in MGTOW or black pill, is because they allow that negative situation that happened in the past from women to impact how they're going to go forward and how they see women. So now they see women as trash, or none of them are good enough, or the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like that's where you get these non-red pill people going, well, not all women, not all women. But those of us that have gone through all the stages of red pill, and now we've come to the acceptance phase of red pill, and we sort of embrace reality. We actually kind of like women. We think, we love them for who they are, not for what they can't be to us. Do you understand? So those past experiences influence, right, how we behave or react to certain situations. And then we also have internal narratives. So the ongoing story we tell ourselves about who we are, how we compare ourselves to others, and what we're capable of achieving, right? So it's not just a surface level understanding of who we are, but a complex, multidimensional construct. Okay. So It's not based on who we think we are. For instance, a lot of people, if you ask them, hey, who are you? Right? Who's nurse chick? If I ask nurse chick, hey, who's nurse chick? She might say, well, I'm a nurse and I'm a mother and, I'm a steamy hot lover. Right. And those things are true, but it's more than that. She's more than those things, right? Those are surface level things. She's got deeply ingrained beliefs, experiences, and internal narratives that make up who she really is. You understand? And our self-identity affects how we perceive challenges, relationships, and our ability to grow, right? Yes, she's also Paul's old lady. That's true too. All right, guys, let me ask you guys to follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. Do get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll send you a bunch of free stuff, including some free stickers. But the coolest thing now is that I have a free ebook called She's Made You Weak that takes you through the 5 stages of the betatization process. So if you're in a relationship right now that's sort of going to hell in a handbasket, this is why. Okay, this is why. So get this. It'll show you what's going on. A lot of it's happening subconsciously. Your girl doesn't even know she's doing it. You don't even realize she's doing it to you. It's just a shit sandwich all around, but it shows you what's happening and how you can prevent it. Okay, so check that out. That's for free. And guys, get the book. We're talking about chapter 3 here, the essential skills of a masculine presence. That's out on paperback, hardcover, and Kindle. You can also get my first book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. That's what the cool new cover looks like. I know I showed you a different cover on Monday, but this is the final cover. Like, I think this one pops. You can actually read that one. Look at that one. So go to books.comeonmanpod.com. You can get all my books there. And let me play a commercial for the new book, and then I'll let Maggie May out so she can quit annoying me, and then we'll get back to the topic at hand today.
Have you ever felt like something's holding you back in your relationships? Like you're always on the back foot, struggling to connect with women? You're not alone. Many men are taught to be weak, to defer, to play small around women by their upbringing, by society, by the very world that shaped them. But what if you could break free from the invisible chains that have held you back? What if you could rewrite the script, reprogram the paradigm that's been running your life? This is your chance to step into the man you were always meant to be. In The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm by Paul Bauer, the first book in R.P. Thor's groundbreaking series, you'll learn how to understand and transform the paradigms that have shaped your life. You'll discover how to develop a dominant masculine presence, one that commands respect, inspires trust, and brings fulfillment to your relationships. Don't wait for life to change on its own. Take control. Order your copy of The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm now on Amazon. Available in hardcover, paperback, or on Kindle. This is more than a book. It's your roadmap to a life of purpose, strength, and success. Make the decision today. Reprogram your life and step into the man you were meant to be.
Yes, step into the man you were meant to be. Let me turn that off. All right. Brother Ed sent a $2 super chat. Now he's a beer club brother and a YouTube member. He says, become a member, you cheapskates. It's one coffee, for crying out loud. I added that for emphasis, you see. And because he's a double member, he gets the thing. Super chat, we see you there. Shake it, dance without a care. Send it love from everywhere. Groovy beats we all can share. Your support is so divine. Moving closer to the line. Thank you, you're the best. Party on, we never rest. Yeah, so I let Maggie out. I know she's gonna go piddle somewhere on the carpet, that little turd. Yesterday morning, I get up. I get up, right? My parents said, okay, now she gets up every morning and she goes outside to go potty at 7:30. And I'm like, okay. So I get up, at 7 or whatever, and I go to the door and I open the door and I go, hey, Maggie, you want to go outside? And she goes running into the living room. I go, oh, okay. I guess she doesn't want to go outside. So I go and I get some clothes on or whatever. I walk out to the living room. She's taking a piss right behind my fucking couch. I'm like, God, dog. Anyway, geriatric dogs, man. The next one on the list here is limiting paradigms lead to constraining behaviors, right? So beliefs that emphasize, this is a good one. You guys are going to love this one. This one's in about the thumbnail. Okay. Beliefs that emphasize vulnerability or emotional expressiveness can trap men in paradigms of weakness. All right. Now, that's a hard one. That's a hard one because society says that we have to be more vulnerable. We have to be more emotionally open. We have to express our feelings more, right? And then we're told that, and women tell us that too, right? Oh, I wish I had a man that was more vulnerable with me and more, not an emotional robot or whatever. Like women say this stuff all the time. But the thing is, that's not true. Like women say one thing and then they respond to something completely different. They do not respond to a man's vulnerabilities. In fact, it gives them the ick. And bless their hearts, they may want to care. They may even think that they care, but their evolutionary psychology won't let them. Okay. They want a guy that has his shit together, a guy that has some emotional control during troublesome situations. They want a guy that they can rely on in emergency situations, right? And if you crumble under pressure because you're an emotional bag of goo, she's going to be disgusted by it over time, right? And next thing you know, she's going to lose attraction for you, and you're going to find yourself in a dead bedroom, and you're not going to, and then you're going to get divorced, and you're not going to know why. And the thing is, the society has been pushing this narrative forever now. It seems like forever, for years now. And like the divorce rate's only gone up, right? It's so clearly it's not true. So I talk about in the book, if you have this belief of being vulnerable or vulnerability is strength, right? So that's one of the biggest gripes I have with Corey Wayne's How to Be a 3% Man book, right? A phenomenal book, but he does have a section called Vulnerability is Strength, and talking about how being vulnerable like makes you more, it creates a bigger bond in relationships. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit, right? So you got to realize that by itself can be a limiting paradigm, because in those types of things, they distort our perception of our abilities, leading us to risk-averse behavior and avoidance, right? And that's really a thing too. If you read any kind of like relationship book that's not from the red pill space, they all tell you to be, you got to work on your communication. You got to be more vulnerable. You got to be more expressive of your feelings. The thing is, a guy's default expression of his emotions is usually anger. Women tend to default to sadness and men default to anger, right? And the thing is that the way these books are written, they're written from the perspective of women. And so the only normal reactive behavior to when things are bad is sadness, because that's what women do. But when men react with anger, all of a sudden that's abnormal. And then women get scared, and now you're emotionally abusive and all this kind of stuff, right? It's no. You got to learn to check that shit. You got to learn how to have better control of your emotions, not suppress them, but control them and use them in effective ways, right? And so one of the things that we talk about with the limiting paradigms and leading to constraining behaviors is that we have to be able to recognize those as limiting behaviors that are limiting paradigms that are holding us back. And then only then, once we become aware of them, can we start the process to change them, right? Break free from those constrained behaviors. And then the next concept is empowering paradigms foster growth, right? So good paradigms foster growth. Like I said before, Aaron Clarey has a strong work ethic paradigm that has led him to be able to work from home and go hiking for a living and flip off the camera. Like that's literally what he does for a living, right? So paradigms based on resilience, adaptability, and self-belief create a robust self-concept. A lot of you guys don't believe in yourselves. You don't believe you're capable of more than where you're at. You think, I'm here, this is my life, this is the way things are, it's just the way it is. No, that's your paradigm. That's your paradigm keeping you where you are, right? You're capable of so much more. So with these empowering paradigms, men are more likely to see obstacles as opportunities for personal growth, right? One of the things that we were talking about on the members only stream last night was my paradigm, working with a business coach. He wants me to do these certain things that are way outside my comfort zone. And when you do things that are outside your comfort zone, that's when you really identify self-limiting beliefs and paradigms that are holding you back, because your brain's screaming at you, you can't do this. This is why we can't do this. You don't want to do this. Don't even try. Why even try doing that? Right. And so the key to that is being aware of that negative inner dialogue telling you you can't do it, because once you start feeling those feelings bubbling up, like your first inclination is to quit, like stop doing what you're trying to do, right? But when you realize that, that's when you got to push forward. You got to go, no, that's not true. That's a self-limiting belief. I gotta test this. I gotta push through. I gotta try this, right? And your empowered paradigms, they enhance confidence and they promote positive action and self-fulfilling prophecies of success. Like if you start to believe, like if you convince yourself that you can do something, right? A lot of guys think that they're hopeless on the dating circuit, that they'll never attract women, they'll never find good women. Those are all negative self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back, keeping you from healthy relationships, right? But once you change that, you actively change that, you'll start acting in ways that will lead you to more success in that area, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be dating or relationships. It could be career, money, or physical fitness, whatever, right? Oh, I could never bench press 250 pounds. Right? So why even try, right? That's not true, right? Those are, anytime you find yourself talking about why you can't do something, that's a self-limiting belief. Anytime, right? But Paul, I'm not 6 feet tall. There's nothing I can do about that. That's true. But the truth is that women don't necessarily care about being 6 foot tall or not. You might think they do because of some old, dating app data or whatever. But when you meet a chick in person, women can't measure. They don't know what 6 feet tall means. All right, guys, consider joining the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of dudes. We have about 50 guys in there. And it's a very active Telegram community where guys are in there swapping notes and helping each other level up. We've got a couple of subgroups now. We have one that's a gratitude practice group, which is really good for your mental health. And then we also have a physical fitness accountability subgroup now, where if your goal is to get fit and lose weight and you need someone to slap that cookie out of your hand, get in beer club and then get into the subgroup. Okay. Because we can help you with that. We have 3 guys in beer club that have significantly lost a lot of weight. We got one guy, we call him Shreddy Eddie. He's that guy is just absolutely killing it, man. That guy is doing great. And then we have another guy, Brother David. Both of them, actually, Eddie and Shreddy Eddie and David were both on the members only live stream last night with me. And David has cured himself of type 2 diabetes. I think it's probably been a couple months now since he's had to have an insulin shot. That's phenomenal. And it's all because he's worked on his diet and he's worked on losing his weight. And all he does is go for walks every day because he's an old geriatric. I'm just kidding. He's not geriatric, but he could probably start doing more now. He could probably start maybe actually mixing in some calisthenics and stuff like that. We'll work him up to that. We'll work him up to that. But for just this year, he's just been, working on his diet and just going for walks every day and making sure that he goes for walks every day, and we just hold him accountable to it. We're like, hey man, I worked out. Where's your workout? Right? Simple, just simple as that. All right. The impact of societal expectations on masculine identity. So here's the thing. When you come into the red pill space, there's a lot of conflicting information that you get, right? There's a lot of conflicting information. And not only do content creators in the red pill space contradict each other sometimes, a lot of what we're teaching in the red pill space absolutely contradicts what you have been programmed with in the blue pill world. So those conflicts really messes with guys' heads, right? So society pushes the ideal versions of masculinity, such as an unflappable hero or a dominant alpha male. And when you're in the blue pill reality, you look at that like, well, that's just in the movies. Guys aren't really like that. Guys can't really be like that, right? But in the red pill space, we're like, be the hero of your own story, right? So when you come into the space, you might think that being the unflappable hero or the dominant alpha male might be unrealistic for you. But you got to ask yourself, why do I think that? Why do I think that's unattainable? Because a lot of it is as simple as fixing your mindset, right? Believing that you're the hero of your own story instead of just a supporting character, So there's a lot of societal pressures to create internal conflicts with men, and they feel like they can't meet those ideals, right? Because society portrays these dominant alpha male, unflappable hero types in movies, but then at the same time, society tells you to be vulnerable and be emotionally expressive and all this kind of shit, right? So the key is to find a balance between societal expectations and then being your true, authentic self, right? You got to just look at, okay, how can I maybe incorporate some of those aspects that I would love to be? I would love to be like Captain Kirk, who bangs space ladies all day, right? But how do I get there? Well, first I need a spaceship. So you got to just take it piece by piece, right? Like what resonates with, and I'm just throwing Captain Kirk out there. Another great masculine hero is Indiana Jones, right? How great is Indiana Jones? If you ever watch Indiana Jones and like how he deals with the women, like he kind of gets frustrated with the women, but at the same time, he is playful with them. He has strong frame around them. He's always mission focused. Same like James Bond, right? All that kind of stuff. So you got to look at what they're doing and what you could resonate with, and then start from there. Just start small, Then we have authentic masculinity, a balance of emotional control and expression. Okay, so this here is what we often talk about in the space, where you would almost think when we say, hey, women don't care about your problems, that we're telling you to suppress your feelings and to bottle them up and never express them at all. And that's not what we're saying, right? Typically, what we really are trying to say is that there's a time and a place for it, right? Learning some emotional control, realizing that crying in front of your girl is not going to get her pussy wet, right? In fact, that's probably going to kill your relationship over time. She's going to start seeing that as weakness, and then she's going to start testing you more, and then you're going to start failing her tests, and the next thing you know, you're going to find yourself, beta-tized through 1,000 concessions, right? So what you got to realize is that at the same time, men do have emotions, right? We have feelings, we have emotions. Thor likes to bring it up in A Dominant Masculine Presence, his original book, which is what, this book and all the other books in the series that are coming out are based off of. But Thor breaks it down like there's a difference between emotions and feelings, right? Your feelings are what you actually feel in your body, and your emotions are like the chemical responses in your brain. And a lot of times they're tied together. Your emotions cause a physical reaction in your body, right? Like if you have fear, like you tense up, right? So that feeling is that of tension is because of the emotion of fear, right? That sort of thing. Well, the thing is that we have emotions and you should feel bad for having emotions. Men aren't supposed to have that. So realizing that there's a time and a place for it, right? So your girl's not it. Your girl is not the person to go to when you have a lot of problems. You got a lot of shit going on in your life. You got a lot of stress going on in your life. You don't want to bring that baggage to the relationship. Okay. That's not her job. She might think that she wants that job, but she really doesn't. Okay. So what do you do with that? Well, you could go to the gym, let some of that steam off at the gym, right? I like to go running. I run right now. I'm running 4 miles a day, right? Monday through Friday, 4 miles a day is what I've been doing lately. That lets off a ton of steam. That gets rid of a lot of stress. Okay. At the same time, I have my beer club brothers. I go to the beer club, and that's what the beer club's for. Like if you have a lot of shit going on in your life, you need other dudes to talk to. You understand? Your girl's not it. So I talk about that a lot in the book. Like it's good to have a community of like-minded men that you could go to with this type of shit. You can express your emotions in a safe space, right? But your girl's not it. So that's the key, right? A balance of emotional control and expression, right? There's a time and a place. When you're at work and you're the leader and you're the boss and you're managing people, it's not good to be overly emotionally expressive and be angry all the time and curse at employees. I have a problem with that sometimes. But rather it's like, okay, you got to control that in the moment. And then there's a place for it. Now you're barking. See, I knew it. I knew she was going to be barking here. All right. So then we have the disconnect between true self and imposed paradigms, right? So there's a tension between internal beliefs and external societal pressures, which creates a gap in self-identity. And this gap can lead to behaviors that don't align with one's true self, which causes confusion and dissatisfaction. So what we have to do is initiate a realignment with our internal values and external actions. And that's crucial for developing an authentic masculine presence. All right, hold on. Let me play another commercial for the book, and then we go let the goddamn dog back in here.
Have you ever felt like something's holding you back in your relationships? Like you're always on the back foot, struggling to connect with women? You're not alone. Many men are taught to be weak, to defer, to play small around women by their upbringing, by society, by the very world that shaped them. But what if you could break free from the invisible chains that have held you back? What if you could rewrite the script, reprogram the paradigm that's been running your life? This is your chance to step into the man you were always meant to be. In The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm by Paul Bauer, the first book in R.P. Thor's groundbreaking series, you'll learn how to understand and transform the paradigms that have shaped your life. You'll discover how to develop a dominant masculine presence, one that commands respect, inspires trust, and brings fulfillment to your relationships. Don't wait for life to change on its own. Take control. Order your copy of The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm now on Amazon. Available in hardcover, paperback, or on Kindle. This is more than a book. It's your roadmap to a life of purpose, strength, and success. Make the decision today. Reprogram your life and step into the man you were meant to be.
Okay. Shut the fuck up, dog. All right. So then we have paradigm shifts that lead to authentic masculine presence. So shifting paradigms, it's about replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones that align with your true identity. Okay. More like, who do you want to be? Like, how would you rather be? So I just wrote an article yesterday on my website, fixdeadbedrooms.com. And it's about how there's a book called The Boy Crisis, right? The Boy Crisis by Warren Farrell and John Gray. And the book does I'll drop a link to this in the chat too. The book does a great job of laying out the current problems with masculinity in society and problems that boys are having, right? Like we have a problem with boys' mental health, right? We're told that masculinity is toxic. So we have a lot of young men and a lot of young boys that have they're depressed because they think they're bad for being men, and they don't know how to have healthy relationships because they're raised by women, all this kind of stuff. But the solutions that they offer in the book are to, be more emotionally accepting of the boys and give the boys emotional support and basically be more emotional, which is what got us here in the first place, right? It's basically treat boys like women, and that's their solution, which is a terrible solution. And so what Thor and I are saying in our two books is, no, that's not the solution. The solution is to teach these boys how to be men, right? But a lot of people don't know how to be men. So that post actually went to the front page of the men's rights subreddit on Reddit last night, which was cool. And one of the guys in there is like, oh, if fixing masculinity was the solution, like I wouldn't have had all these problems in my life because I'm masculine. I'm a masculine man. It's like, well, your reaction to this post says otherwise. Most guys haven't been taught, right, to have an authentic masculine, like dominant masculine presence. Most guys don't. Most guys are nice guys. Most guys are pushovers, right? So one of the things that this book is supposed to help you identify is that type of paradigm of being more of a nice guy, pushover, accommodating, one that defers to women, all that kind of stuff, and help you give you other more empowering paradigms that shifts that aligns with this new identity that you want to embrace, right? And paradigm shifts, they open new avenues for personal growth and more genuine expression of your masculinity, right? They help men build confidence, resilience, and self-assurance, fostering a stronger masculine presence. So then the chapter leads into my karate sensei, Mr. Bodhi. And some of the things that he taught me growing up, right? And one of the things that I really point out in the book is the concept that Mr. Bodhi taught us of the leadership rules and the black belt rules in the dojo. And what they were really a series of affirmations that we would say at the beginning of class and we'd say at the end of class. And when you say affirmations over and over again and put like a good intention or emotion behind it, like it gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. And one of those is I never give up. I always keep trying. Okay. So I tell this story about how that wasn't just a saying that he had to say in the dojo because it sounds cool. He literally lived it. And I tell the story of how when he was years before I was even born, right? He was he was in Japan and he was doing a sword demonstration for some martial arts thing. And they had done this a bunch of times, right? They had done this a bunch of times, but somebody slipped, something happened, a mistake was made, and he got impaled. He got physically impaled on a sword, right? And he has a big scar, like right here, like right under his rib cage, like right over here somewhere. Big nasty scar there because he got impaled. And I interviewed him for a national essay contest that my mom signed me up for that summer. And so I sat down to ask him about his life and all this kind of stuff. And the sword thing came up. And he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about that. He also got shot in Vietnam. He didn't want to talk about that either. So he's got a Purple Heart from being shot in Vietnam. But he also got stabbed. And the thing is what he said was that he realized when that happened that he had to control his mind. He said, I have to stay awake. I just got to focus on staying awake because if I stay awake, I won't go into shock. And if I don't go into shock, I won't die. So they rushed him to the hospital, and he was bleeding out bad, and he was just focused on, I can't give up. I always keep trying. I can't give up, right? I never give up. And I got to stay awake. I got to stay awake. I got to stay awake. And the doctors thought it was a miracle that he even survived that. He lost so much blood and stuff like that. But the fact was, he controlled his mind in that moment and had a can't quit attitude about it. And so the mantra of I never give up, I always keep trying wasn't just something he taught us. It was something that he fundamentally believed, right? And so that type of belief, it creates an identity of resilience, right? Of resilience. If you have that kind of mentality, man, life throws all sorts of crap at you, and you're just like, whatever, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it, man. It's a pretty good story. If you go through my YouTube videos, I have a couple of recordings as I was working on the audio version, and I tell that story in there. It's pretty good. So the final one here, and then I got to feed these damn dogs, is self-reflection and paradigm awareness. Okay. So men must observe their behaviors and recurring patterns to identify limiting paradigms. All right. And one of the ways I break down how to do this is through journaling, right? If you get yourself a journal and you take like 15 minutes a day, at the end of your day, and just reflect on your day and think about different situations, different emotions that came up through the day. Someone treated you like shit, and you maybe, blasted them and yelled at them back or whatever. Write that down. Talk about that, right? Because that will identify a pattern of emotional reactivity. And you're like, that'll help you identify that sort of thing. So, okay, I need to work on that. I need to work on that emotional reactivity. I didn't realize I was doing it until I sat down and journaled this. And then over time, you'll actually start to see that progress, you'll start seeing that progress of you working your way out of that. It's one of the reasons why in the red pill space, we talk about doing field reports. The field report process is nothing more than journaling. If you think about it, just sounds less gay. If you're doing field reports instead of journaling, right? Call it whatever you want. It's the same thing. And that awareness leads to conscious efforts to reshape paradigms and align actions with desired outcomes, right? So once your subconscious becomes conscious, now everything that you're doing is a choice, right? And so you can actively work to try to change those things that are holding you back in life. Okay. All right. That's essentially chapter 3. But definitely get the book, because I go way more in depth in that. So that's The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence Psychology Paradigm. Guys, get on the email list. If you want to know when the audiobook is out, get on the email list, right? Go to list.comeonmanpod.com and get on the email list now. If you're an audiobook only guy, like you don't have time to sit down and read a book, or, read the Kindle edition or whatever, that's okay. I'm the same way. I mean, I do like to sit down and read books, but it takes me infinitely longer to read a paperback or a Kindle than it does for me to listen to an audiobook. Because I listen to the audiobook when I'm driving my truck, or when I'm out running, or when I'm in the gym. I'm listening to audiobooks, and I can bang out an audiobook a week, whereas paperbacks take me like months. So get on the email list, and I'll let you know as soon as that drops. Okay. As soon as Audible lets me know, I will let you know. Oh, Mr. Wrong says, I'm waiting for the audiobook, but when it comes out, I'm starting it right away. Yeah, and I'll ping you. You and I talk on Telegram, or Mr. Wrong and I. Mr. Wrong, guys. Mr. Wrong, he's in Israel right now, and there was that attack yesterday. It's crazy. Dude was just like blocks from it. Crazy. Glad you're still here, bro. All right, that's all I have for this episode, guys. I got to deal with these damn dogs. Tune into the podcast Friday. So we're going to be, it'll be Frame Friday. And what I decided to do for the next 2 weeks, let me bring this up here. If you guys did not know, hold on, masculine presence. If you guys did not know, my book, The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, is not the only book that's available in the series. We also have Brother Wraith from the Dragon Ship has The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Power Frame Identity, which is out now. And the thing about Wraith is Wraith's probably the most stoic guy I know. He's probably got the best frame of anybody in the space, right? So his book on frame is awesome. And so what I'm going to be doing for Frame Fridays, just like I'm doing for Woo Woo Wednesdays, where I'm going chapter by chapter in my book, I'm going to be going chapter by chapter and talking about the top 10 concepts from his book on Fridays. And that's what we're going to do. Hopefully I can help him get a couple of ducats out, get a couple of ducats for his time of releasing that book. He had this book just sitting in the wings, right? And when Thor was like, hey, we want to promote this book, he was like, or we want to start writing books for this series. Ray's like, well, shit, I already have this book on frame. Might as well publish it. And so he's been sitting on it for years and is finally getting around to doing that. But we'll be going through that for the next couple of weeks. So check that out. It's going to be fun. It's going to really help you guys work on frame. So I would say between Woo Woo Wednesdays for the next couple of weeks and Frame Fridays, you're all the inner game you need is going to happen. Okay. But you got to get those books because both books go into depth on this stuff. And so that's Friday, chapter 1. Tune into that. Other than that, guys, do like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And thank you for everyone that sounded off in the live chat. I appreciate you. And if you guys are watching on the replay, drop a comment below, your favorite emoji, whatever. Thanks for Brother Ed for sending the super chat. The rest of you guys are cheap bastards, but that's okay. A lot of you guys are YouTube subscribers or YouTube members rather. So thank you for all my members. I appreciate you guys. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list so you know when the audiobook drops. And then you also get free stickers. My new ebook, She's Made You Weak, that's only like 11 pages, but it breaks down the betatization process. Get both my books, okay? Go to books.comeonmanpod.com, get Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, and get The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence, Psychology Paradigm, which is the book that we talked about today. And then, guys, join the beer club. That's all I have. We will see you guys. Hold on. Any super chat? No super chats. We'll see you guys on Friday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.